Today I will tell you a story about my favorite hunter pet, Aradan. Aradan is a spirit beast and only tameable by beastmasters. What makes him so special for me is the way you acquire him and especially how much time I have spent solving this mystery together with the secret finding Discord. But first let's go back to June 2024. The War Within was in the beta and like many other people I was exploring the new zones and dungeons for the first time. First, Aradan was spotted in the Rookery dungeon, after defeating the first boss. It's a friendly target, but the beast lore ability stated it's tameable and exotic. For the time of the beta, this got ignored by many people, we didn't know if it's intended or not, things change all the time. Initially, we also could tame one of these cuties, which sadly never came to pass. But when the War Within went live, Aradan was still stated as tameable, and I knew there is a secret to be found. Shortly after Blizzard confirmed it and the Great Hunt began. That was the moment I joined the secret finding Discord and together we did a lot of stuff trying to solve this mystery. So everything we knew at this point is that Aradan is tameable and has the title Morning Stormrook. Somebody found a book in Overworld village which mentioned Stormrooks. It stated that Stormrooks are speculated to have origins with air elementals. So some players were checking the Vortex Pinnacle dungeon and the Throne of the Four Winds raid, looking all over for clues and recent changes. It also stated that Stormrooks eat the charged wool of moss wools. So we did the questline in Brambleshire which was all about moss wools, got moss wool battle pads and tried to charge them up, by having them being hit by the abilities of the first boss in the Rookery dungeon, as well as the trinket that can drop from said boss and is actually usable by hunters. But all without success. Then, after part 2 of the War Within campaign could be finished, we noticed a change in the Overworld. There is harvested moss wool in Dar Ostan which you can interact with, as well as Stormrooks actually eating it. Nothing happens if you click on it, but it's still weird that it can be interacted with. So we tried to group up with 5 players and we all clicked on the 5 wool piles simultaneously. But nothing happened. Doing another quest line up on this island, we learned that cloudrooks like to eat electric eels. And as a hunter pet enthusiast, I knew that there actually is an electric eel hunter pet in the zone of Ashka Head. A pet that always stood out to me and many other players, since it's just odd to have a creature that usually lives in water to be your pet. Cloudrooks are not stormrooks, but they are very similar, so I tried to bring an eel over to Aradan, but nothing worked. Eventually we focused on Aradan's title, Morning Stormrook, and we were wondering, who or what is it mourning? Perhaps its rider? The only mention of a dead storm rider we could find was this statue which stated that she liked to drink cinderbrew meat. So we got a bunch of cinderbrew meat, went over to Aradan and got completely smashed. We tried to slash mourn the first boss, we tried to free every Stormrook in the dungeon and keeping all the hostile ones alive. We tried Elusive Bait, Sky Mirror on the first boss, Rainbow Generator on Aradan, feigning death for the entire duration in front of Aradan. We made the pre-order mount look exactly like Curious, the first boss of a dungeon. We mounted up Alunira, killed the final boss of a dungeon with a Rook's favor buff, healed and fed our pet near him, but nothing worked. We continued with all kinds of ideas. There was a determined item, the Void-Scarred Stormhammer, but nobody knew how to get it or what it does. Could this be related to Aradan? Perhaps the weapon of Aradan's former rider? Who knows? We took selfies with Aradan while we have a mosswool pet outside. We went inside the dungeon with an earthen hunter, drank cinderbrew meat in the morning rise, and then suddenly there was a screenshot in the Discord of a guy with Aradan tamed. He was asked, but kept the secret for himself. He simply said, "It's much easier than you think." So, we went back to basics. No more mapping out Aradan's flying path. No more connecting the locations of statues to search for a pattern. No more lore speculation about the origin of Stormrooks and the possible involvement of Titan Keeper Aradan. I went back to the book at Overworld village and I read it again and again and again for clues. Eventually we found another book that mentions Stormrooks in a cave on this island. It mentions a Stormrook without a rider. Is it Aradan? The answer is yes, probably. And that gave me the idea that it would eventually become the solution to our problems. Aradan is a morning Stormwook, and we just learned there was a Stormwook without a rider. For your information, every Stormwook picks a rider by itself. So this one just lost its rider and therefore is still mourning. Just like Aradan. By the way, that's not something I made up, we learned that during the second part of the max level campaign. The book could be found here, so I thought perhaps in the water we will find the dead body of a storm rider. And I was searching the ocean all around here. But how do you want to find something in this wide sea? For the next days we kept trying and trying. And then, one morning, I woke up, got ready for work, and then I saw the message in Discord. We solved it. The user waiting for Paul found the Void-Scarred Stormhammer. In the ocean! This hammer actually did belong to his previous rider. And it was found in the ocean, just as I said. The mistake I made was thinking it was around this island, since the information came from a book you found here. But the guy who wrote the book lived in Dornogal before, which was stated in the other book down in Overworld village. So instead it can be found right here on the ocean floor. Using it near Aradan will make the beast tameable. That day I left work early so I could make a guide for it, and even though it only has about 14,000 clicks, it's still the most viewed Aradan guide on YouTube. I guess people didn't take the pet as serious as I did, but that's fine. We actually have tried a lot more things than just the ones I listed here. I have the whole list in the description below in case you're interested. If you enjoyed this little story, or perhaps even were a part of the people solving it, make sure to leave a comment and tell me your opinion. I hope to see you next time. Until then, see ya!